Welcome back to Modular Hippo and episode 18 of the components playlist. This is the channel where I'm trying to build an off-grid sailboat, a 36-foot aluminum sailboat in my backyard. And as we have a lot of snow and ice still, if you look around me, I will try to do some indoor work today, just to be a bit lazy. In this episode, I will be looking at the components that I will be using for a 230 volts AC switchboard that will allow me to go between shore power, inverter and generators. It will also allow me to bypass the power coming in from shore power and also from generators, so that it will go straight into the mains rather than going through the inverter if I ever need to do so. So in this episode I will be looking at the components that is needed for this to push this one forward. So there will be an episode 2 of this one as well where I assemble everything. So let's take a look. First things first, a quick thank you to Electronic Tinkerer, Jim and Albert, who gave me loads of great ideas when I first mentioned this mini project in the episode 12. All your help and comments have kind of pushed me towards this design that I'm working on now. So a big thank you to you guys. A quick recap on what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a switchboard that allows me to easily direct the flow of electricity. So when it comes to shore power, for example, the default will most likely be to flow it via the inverter, but I can also, with this switchboard, bypass the inverter in case it's down or broken and direct the energy straight into the 230 AC mains. For the same reason, I can also direct it directly towards the EG4 charge inverter for battery charging if the inverter and the built-in battery charger in the inverter is down. Same thing goes for the generator, so I can direct the flow through the inverter, or I can bypass the inverter and directly into the boat's 230 AC main, or via the EG4 charge inverter for battery charging if the inverter is down. And the final point is where I will set the AC 230 main to either get its power from the inverter, the shore power or the generator. In my first attempt to start to play around with this, I got these rotary switches just to have an idea of how to connect them and everything, because it wasn't very straightforward. So what I used was a 12 volt power pack, and then I had a 12 volt light on the other side so I could make sure that it was on or it was off and so on. Unfortunately, the first set of rotary switches that I got was 8 connection points, and they were only rated for 20 amp, which will not be enough for what I'm trying to do. So hopefully down the line I can use these for something else, but for this project I won't be able to use it. But it was a good lessons learned, so yeah. For this second attempt I have got way chunkier rotary switches. So these are all 63 amp rated, so 660 volts and 63 amp. So I put them in a IP65 box as well for now. So just to give you an idea, so that's how chunky they are. And these are 12-way instead of 8-way. And this should be enough for what I'm doing. They should be able to handle quite much more amperage than what I actually need. So I guess I'd rather go bigger and be safe than have problems down the line. So this is what I have to work with, and besides the actual rotary switches I have also got some other components. We have some cable glands that are good for 10 to 14 millimeter 2 cables, which is the range that my Arctic Blue cables will handle. So I will fit those at a later stage when I know the exact position of the cables. It's pointless for me to install it now and then realize that I might get the cables coming in from the left instead from the bottom and so on, but at least I have them. I also have a set of 230 AC pilot lights. I want to place a couple of pilot lights on here that will show me in which direction the power is going once I've used the switches. And I've also got a set of toggle switches so that once I'm happy with the direction of the power, I can turn those pilot lights off. It might seem overkill because the pilot lights are LED and they draw very little, but for the inverter and the battery load, I don't want that light to be on. Everything little helps, and if I can turn off that light when I don't need it, then that's the way forward. I think I just need 2 or 3 of these, depending on how many LED lights I will be using. Parts that I need to source going forward, I obviously need the blue Arctic cable, so I will use the 2.5mm 2 cable for all the shore power and generator connections. That will be enough. For the out of the inverter, which have a peak of 9,000 watts, I will need a 6mm 2 cable to handle that larger load. I will also need an earth bar, or I believe I will need an earth bar, as I believe that my 4-position switch will need a central point for all the earth cables. And I am also going to get some connection blocks that allows me to connect all the in and out cables at the back of the box in a central point, so that I later, when the box is on the wall, can easily connect the Arctic Blue cables. And finally, I will need some fork terminals to make sure that I can attach all cables to the connection points securely. And finally, one thing that I might do is actually create a sticker that will show me the exact flow between each of these connection points, together with the pilot lights, so that it looks neat and tidy, and it has a little bit of writing on there, so I can see, for example, that this is shore power, this is generator, and so on, all the way up to this final switch, which is the 4 switch, which then will be either set to generator, or probably the first one will be inverter, second one will be the shore power, and the last one will be the emergency generator. So if I use that sticker, I can make this look a little bit more tidy, and if I haven't looked at it for a couple of months, then at least I will remember exactly where each of these points are pointing. Thinking about it, there's probably one last thing, and that is that I will probably cut a rubber seal that will go between the box and the rotary front here, just to make sure that there's some extra moisture resistance. Although the box is IP65, these points will not be, so I'll cut that out and make sure I have one on each of these. A quick overview of the rotary switches. So what you will have is the power source. So in this case it could be the generator, or it could be the shore power. So this is a 3-way switch. That power comes in here. This one is the earth, this is neutral, this is live in this example. And then I have connected these 3 points to the opposite side, so that I now have on this side, I have power coming through if the switch is in the right point. So if I put the switch to 1, then that will go over to load 1, and I've put it switch to number 2, then that will go over to load number 2. And you can obviously do this the other way around as well. So you have the power source here and the power source here, and then coming out will be your load. So I'm going to do a separate video about that, just to show you the complete diagram and how I came to this conclusion. So I will put that in a separate video, and I will also do that for the 4-way switch, which I'm still to work on. Thank you as always for watching this episode, and if you haven't subscribed and you want to see more, feel free to press that button. If you have any concerns or questions or ideas, as always, stick them in the comments and I will respond within 24 hours. If you're interested in the motor build that I am also going to push forward now, there's a separate playlist for this, as well as there is a separate playlist for the actual boat build. So until next time, enjoy your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.